Did you know that a heart attack almost never happens out of nowhere? In reality, your body has likely been sending you subtle yet urgent warning signs for weeks, sometimes even months, before disaster strikes. Every year, millions of people collapse unexpectedly from a heart attack. But what many of them didn't realize is that their body had been desperately trying to warn them beforehand. Strange fatigue, fleeting chest discomfort, or even an unexplained sense of anxiety. These could all be silent cries for help coming directly from your heart. What makes this even scarier is the fact that up to 80% of heart attacks could be prevented if people simply recognized the early signs and took action in time. That means lives could be saved, not just prolonged, if we paid closer attention to the messages our bodies send. In this article, we'll reveal 8 critical warning signs that may begin to appear as early as a month before a heart attack occurs. These are signs you absolutely cannot afford to ignore. Some may seem harmless at first glance, but dismissing them could be a fatal mistake. Let's begin with one of the most commonly dismissed but potentially life-saving signs. 1. Indigestion or heartburn. That's not what it seems. Most people think of heartburn as nothing more than a minor digestive issue, something caused by eating a big meal, spicy food, or perhaps drinking too much coffee. But what if that familiar burning sensation in your chest wasn't coming from your stomach at all? What if, instead, it was your heart trying to send a desperate warning? Discomfort that feels like indigestion can, in some cases, be an early sign of a heart attack. This is especially true in people who don't experience the classic, crushing chest pain that most associate with heart problems. The trouble is, acid reflux and heart-related chest pain can feel almost identical. Both can cause a burning sensation or pressure in the chest, and both might occur after eating. However, there's a key difference. While heartburn is triggered by stomach acid, heart-related discomfort arises when blood flow to the heart is restricted, depriving it of oxygen. Your body doesn't always make it easy to distinguish between the two. The heart and stomach share nerve pathways, so when something goes wrong with your heart, your brain may misinterpret the signals and make it feel like indigestion. This confusion is especially common in women, diabetics, and older adults, groups whose heart attack symptoms are often more subtle and atypical. So how do you know when to worry? If your heartburn is accompanied by nausea, cold sweats, dizziness, or pain that radiates to your jaw, arms, or back, don't ignore it. These could be signs that your heart is in distress, and delaying action could prove deadly. 2. Unusual fatigue that doesn't go away. Imagine waking up in the morning feeling more tired than you did before going to bed, even after a full night of sleep. Suddenly, everyday tasks like carrying groceries or even just getting through the day begin to feel overwhelmingly difficult. You might chalk it up to stress, aging, or having a busy lifestyle. But what if that deep, lingering exhaustion was actually your body's way of signaling a serious heart problem? This type of fatigue isn't the same as normal tiredness that improves with rest. Instead, it tends to persist, sometimes for days or even weeks, and gradually worsens over time. You may feel completely drained after even the simplest of activities, like taking a shower or making your bed. Some people describe it as feeling like they have the flu, but without the fever or stuffy nose. The link between fatigue and heart health lies in circulation. When the heart isn't pumping efficiently, blood flow to the muscles and brain decreases, leading to weakness, dizziness, and mental fog. To cope, the body redirects blood to vital organs, which is why your arms and legs may feel particularly heavy or weak. The more restricted the blood flow becomes, the more exhausted you'll feel, even if you're not exerting yourself at all. Many heart attack survivors have reported feeling unusually tired for weeks before their heart event, but they ignored the signs, thinking it was something minor. Don't make that mistake. Your body is speaking to you. Listen before it's too late. 3. Persistent sleep disturbances or restlessness. You lie in bed feeling exhausted but restless, unable to sleep even though your mind is calm. Night after night, you toss and turn, sometimes waking up gasping for air or jolting awake for no clear reason. It's frustrating, and you might blame stress, aging, or a poor sleep schedule. But these sleep disturbances, especially difficulty falling asleep, frequent awakenings, or feeling unrest despite a full night's rest, can actually be early signs of heart trouble. Most people don't associate poor sleep with heart disease, but the connection is surprisingly strong. When the heart isn't working efficiently, the body struggles to regulate both blood pressure and oxygen levels, both of which are essential for restful sleep. One of the more alarming conditions linked to this is nocturnal hypoxia, where oxygen levels drop during sleep. This can happen when reduced blood flow, due to narrowing arteries, makes it harder for your heart to circulate oxygen properly. In response, your brain detects the issue and triggers micro-awakenings, brief moments of wakefulness you might not even remember, but which disrupt your sleep cycle and leave you exhausted the next day. Another overlooked factor is the role of the autonomic nervous system, which regulates involuntary bodily functions like heart rate and blood pressure. When the heart is under stress, perhaps due to blockages or an impending cardiac event, this system can become overactive at night, causing adrenaline spikes that make it harder to relax and fall into deep sleep. This helps explain why many people report vivid nightmares, sudden awakenings, or a racing heart during the weeks leading up to a heart attack. For mild shortness of breath that feels unusual, imagine walking up a flight of stairs, something you've done 1,000 times before, but this time, something feels off. Halfway up, you feel unexpectedly winded, as though you've just run a marathon. You stop to catch your breath, but the air doesn't come easily. Maybe you think you're just out of shape or feeling tired. But what if it's something much more serious? Mild shortness of breath is one of the most frequently missed early signs of heart problems. Many assume it must be a lung issue, like asthma or a cold. But the heart and lungs work closely together. When your heart struggles to pump blood effectively, your lungs have to work harder to help you breathe. This can lead to unexpected, unexplained breathlessness. The key difference lies in the timing and context. If you feel breathless after intense exercise, that's normal. But if you suddenly find yourself gasping for air during simple tasks like walking, climbing stairs, or even talking, this is a red flag. In some cases, shortness of breath may even occur while resting or lying down, forcing you to sit up just to breathe properly. This can be due to fluid buildup in the lungs, known as pulmonary congestion, when the heart can't pump blood effectively. It often creeps up slowly, starting with minor breathlessness that gradually worsens over time. Many dismiss it, thinking it's just aging or lack of fitness. But when shortness of breath worsens without clear explanation, it's often a sign of an underlying heart issue. 5. Pain or discomfort in the jaw or neck. Jaw or neck pain is a commonly overlooked warning sign of a heart attack. While most people are aware of the intense chest pain that typically accompanies heart problems, discomfort in the jaw, throat, or neck rarely triggers concern. As a result, many dismiss it as insignificant, not realizing it could actually be a serious alarm coming from a heart. Heart-related pain can show up in surprising places, including your jaw, neck, or even your teeth. This happens because the heart doesn't have its own pain receptors like skin or muscles do. Instead, when the heart is in distress, such as from reduced blood flow, it sends signals through a nerve called the vagus nerve. This nerve travels from the brain through the chest and into various parts of the upper body. The brain can misinterpret these signals, making it feel like pain is coming from your jaw or neck instead of your chest. Another complicating factor is that this type of discomfort can be intermittent. One day you might feel a mild ache in your jaw. Another day, you may feel neck stiffness. Sometimes the discomfort disappears entirely, only to return during stress or physical exertion. This stop-start pattern makes it easy to overlook until it becomes dangerously serious. If jaw or neck pain comes on suddenly, feels different than usual, or is accompanied by other symptoms such as shortness of breath, dizziness, nausea, or fatigue, don't ignore it. If it worsens with activity but improves with rest, it may be angina, a sign your heart isn't getting enough blood. 6. Dizziness or lightheadedness that comes and goes. You're going about your normal day when suddenly everything tilts. A wave of dizziness hits you out of nowhere, and for a few moments, you feel completely off balance. Maybe you assume it's just dehydration or that you stood up too quickly. But then it happens again. You feel lightheaded, almost as if you're about to pass out. The sensation fades after a few seconds, and you move on. But what if that brief spell of dizziness isn't as harmless as it appears? One of the first signs that your heart may be in trouble is a sudden, unexplained feeling of dizziness or faintness. It's absolutely essential to pay close attention to these feelings because they could be a sign that your heart is struggling and needs urgent attention. Your heart's primary job is to pump oxygen-rich blood to every part of your body, especially to your brain. When blood flow is restricted, whether due to narrowed vessels or an undiagnosed heart condition, your brain may not get the oxygen it needs. This lack of oxygen can make you feel dizzy, woozy, or even cause you to nearly faint, even when you're not exerting yourself. People describe this sensation in different ways. Some say they feel weak, like their body wants to collapse. Others describe it as an odd, floating feeling, like the ground is shifting beneath their feet. What makes heart-related dizziness especially dangerous is that it doesn't always follow a predictable pattern. It may not be tied to movement or standing up too fast. It can strike while you're sitting, standing, or even lying down. So how can you tell when dizziness should be taken seriously? If you experience repeated episodes of lightheadedness that don't have an obvious explanation, or if this sensation is paired with other symptoms like fatigue, chest discomfort, or shortness of breath, you should not ignore it. These could be warning signs that your heart is in distress. The sooner you listen to these signs and take action, the better your chances are of preventing a potentially life-threatening heart attack. 7. Pain in the upper back or shoulders. You stretch your shoulders, try to ease the dull, persistent ache that's spreading across your upper back. Maybe you think you slept in an awkward position. Maybe you've been sitting too long at your desk. You roll your shoulders, hoping the discomfort will pass, but it doesn't. Instead, the ache lingers, sometimes creeping into your shoulder blades or even radiating down your arms. It's annoying, yes, but not unbearable. So you ignore it. But what if that mild discomfort is a signal from your heart? Pain in the upper back or shoulders is an early and commonly overlooked warning sign of a heart attack. Unlike the sharp, stabbing pain caused by muscle injuries, heart-related discomfort often presents as a deep, spreading pressure or tightness. This is because the nerves responsible for transmitting pain signals from the heart don't always send them directly to the chest. In fact, they can radiate to other areas of the body, like the back, shoulders, neck, and arms. Certain individuals are more likely to experience this atypical pain as an early heart attack symptom. Women, diabetics, and older adults often report discomfort in non-chest areas. If you belong to any of these groups, or if you have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, or a history of smoking, you're at greater risk. So if you start to feel unexplained upper back or shoulder pain, especially if it's unusual for you, don't ignore it. It's far better to be cautious and speak with a healthcare provider than to overlook a potential sign of a serious heart issue. 8. Mild chest discomfort that comes and goes. Intermittent chest discomfort is one of the most dangerous and frequently ignored signs of an impending heart attack. The key word here is intermittent because it doesn't always feel severe and it doesn't always stay. It comes and goes, lulling people into a false sense of security. Many dismiss it as something unimportant. But what's actually happening inside the body is far more serious. When blood flow to the heart becomes limited, even briefly, the heart is deprived of the oxygen it needs to function properly. This condition is known as angina. Angina doesn't always manifest as intense pain. Sometimes it appears as mild tightness, pressure, or a feeling of heaviness in the chest. It can feel like a band is squeezing around your chest, or like something heavy is pressing down on you. Some describe it as a burning sensation, similar to heartburn. Others say it feels like bloating or fullness. And sometimes the sensation isn't even in the chest. It can radiate to the arms, shoulders, neck, jaw, or upper back. Because angina is temporary, many people ignore it. The discomfort might last only a few minutes and fade when you rest or relax. But this is exactly what makes it so dangerous. At first, you might only feel it during physical activity, like climbing stairs, walking uphill, or feeling stressed. As the condition worsens and arteries become more clogged, the discomfort may begin to appear with less and less exertion. Eventually, it could strike even while you're sitting still. When that point arrives, you may have only minutes or hours before your heart reaches a breaking point. If chest discomfort becomes more frequent, lasts longer, or appears alongside symptoms such as dizziness, nausea, cold sweats, or shortness of breath, do not wait. By the time the pain becomes severe and constant, you may already be in the middle of a full-blown heart attack. Taking action, you can prevent a heart attack. A heart attack doesn't happen out of nowhere. It is almost always the result of years of silent damage accumulating inside the body. But here's the good news. You have the power to prevent it. Every choice you make today directly impacts your heart's health tomorrow. Your diet can either fuel disease or fight it. Ditch processed foods, trans fats, and excessive sugar. Instead, fill your plate with whole foods, vegetables, lean proteins, and heart-healthy fats like olive oil and fatty fish. Every single meal is a chance to protect your arteries from further damage. Exercise isn't just about staying in shape. It's about survival. Your heart is a muscle, and like all muscles, it weakens without regular use. A brisk 30-minute walk each day can drastically reduce your risk of heart disease. Sitting too much? It's time to break the cycle and get moving. Stress is another silent killer. Chronic stress increases blood pressure, constricts arteries, and promotes inflammation, all of which place your heart in danger. Learn to manage stress through meditation, deep breathing, or simply setting boundaries. Your heart needs peace just as much as it needs oxygen. And then there's smoking and drinking. Smoking destroys your heart from the inside out, one cigarette at a time. If you haven't quit yet, start today. Every cigarette damages your arteries. Alcohol? Keep it in moderation. The damage it causes builds up faster than you may realize. Don't forget about silent killers like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and diabetes. These conditions often go unnoticed until it's too late. That's why regular health checkups are essential. If you don't monitor your numbers, you can't manage them. Your heart's future isn't set in stone. It's shaped by your daily actions. So start now. Take these warning signs seriously. Listen to your body. Make the changes that matter. Your life and the lives of those who love you depend on it. If you found this information helpful, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Your engagement helps us bring you more life-saving health content. Drop a comment below to let us know your thoughts, questions, or what health topic you'd like us to cover next. We love hearing from you. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss our latest insights and tips. Stay informed, stay healthy, and we'll see you in the next article.